When you stop being available, reclaim your energy. Carl Jung's path to inner freedom. Have you ever noticed how some people simply withdraw and everything around them shifts? They don't shout. They don't beg for attention. They just disappear for a moment. And suddenly, the whole room feels different. The energy changes. People begin to chase after them, question themselves, and start feeling things they didn't before. What if you did the same? What if you stopped reacting to every little thing? What if you chose silence instead of the automatic response? Withdrawal instead of giving in to every emotion that others provoke in you? Imagine that shift. That's where real power lies. When you stop being emotionally, physically, and psychologically available to everyone, everything around you changes. People will find themselves in crisis, not because of your absence, but because they've been accustomed to having you react, to having you always available. The truth is, your silence becomes a challenge for them and a true reflection of your inner power. The power of inaccessibility. When you choose to withdraw, something extraordinary happens. The game changes. Those who thought they had you all figured out suddenly realize that they don't. Carl Jung wisely said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves." Now think about this. Who gets desperate when you stop reacting? Who tries to provoke you just to get you back into their game? This reveals something important, not just about you, but about them. The more you withdraw, the more they reveal their true intentions. But here's the thing. You've been trained to be always available. Since childhood, we've been taught that our value is in how accessible we are to others. The myth is simple. The more present you are, the more people will stay present with you. But that's not true. Excessive availability isn't a virtue. It's a trap. And as long as you stay accessible all the time, you will be drained emotionally. That tiredness, that frustration, it's not your fault. It's because you've been overextending yourself to please others, to keep the peace, to avoid losing people who were never truly with you. Jung's wisdom, the art of silence and self-discovery. This video isn't about cutting off the world. It's about choosing yourself. It's about individuation, the process of becoming whole, authentic, and complete. Jung said that this path begins when you understand that silence can be more powerful than 1,000 arguments. It is when withdrawal comes from a place of awareness, not from fear. Silence is an act of power. So let me ask you this. How long will you let the emotions of others control your peace? How long will you react like a puppet, pulled by invisible strings? Maybe it's time to cut the strings, to withdraw, and become a mystery. Because when you stop being available, everything changes. The cost of over-availability. You've been taught to be present, to always say yes, to respond immediately, even when it costs you your peace. But here's the truth no one told you. When you are always available, you are predictable. And being predictable makes you vulnerable to manipulation. People don't want you. They want what you provide. Validation, comfort, attention, relief. But when you stop reacting, when you begin to set boundaries, those same people start reacting. They accuse you of changing. They criticize you, but it's not because you've changed, it's because you stopped serving their needs. The power of withdrawal and self-protection. The more you give, the less people value you. It's a paradox. Too much availability breeds disrespect, but the moment you choose silence, you shift the dynamic. You stop reacting, and suddenly, you become valuable again. Rare, unpredictable, respected. But remember, silence has a price. It distances you from those who are only interested in your role, in your usefulness. It will make you seem cold, distant, even arrogant. But all of this, it's a reflection of their fear, not your fault. The more you choose to preserve your peace, the more people will feel unsettled. Why? Because they never wanted you. They wanted the version of you that was always accessible, always reactive, always there to fill their emotional gaps. And that discomfort they feel, that's the true sign that you've begun to break free. Reclaim your energy. Jung said, The most significant part of the process of individuation is cutting ties with projections. This means learning to disconnect from the image others have of you. When you stop being emotionally available, you remove the projections they've placed on you, and you free yourself. No more automatic responses, no more seeking approval, only self-preservation and conscious action. Self-determination begins when you say no to the world and yes to yourself. The power of silence is not to ignore others, but to protect your own energy, to stop being manipulated by their emotional needs and start living in alignment with your true self. It is time to choose your peace, your essence, your truth. Conscious unavailability, the path to transformation. Jung's process of individuation requires moments of solitude, not isolation in the negative sense, but a sacred retreat to connect with your authentic self. When you choose this path, you will lose people, but you will find yourself. Observe who leaves when you withdraw. Pay attention to who criticizes your silence. They are revealing how much they depended on your emotional imbalance to feel in control. This is a sign of growth, of true freedom. When you stop being available, everything changes. So, this journey of self-empowerment through Jung's teachings isn't about rejecting the world. It's about becoming whole by knowing yourself, protecting your energy, and finding your own voice. The path to real freedom begins when you choose silence and stop letting others dictate your emotional reality. Now, ask yourself, are you ready to stop reacting? Are you ready to change the rules and take control of your life? If you're ready to embark on this journey, join us in this exploration of the self. Subscribe to Think Tangle, leave your comments, and if you've learned more about yourself, like this video. Let's step into true individuation together.